be one of those shows.
Oh my God,
Do you
we
have a
already
name?
are live.
Do you have a name for
We
it,
are
Bunny?
live. Yeah, Fluffy.
Fluffy.
Oh,
Actually, is sniffing Fluffy.
Oh my God, it's going to be one of those nights.
Can I do my sound effects now?
No. Just-
Money. Did you mute me?
No, I didn't.
Armpit farts.
It's 9 o'clock, but we started.
Oh, this is a studio audience.
Jesus.
Cool.
Wow.
Silvia,
We're going to speed up this countdown.
if you don't
baby.
do exactly what I tell you, this is what I'm going to do to Rob.
We're supposed
And
to
then
be
I'm going to do
quiet.
this.
Yeah. Okay, guys.
Then he's going to cry like a baby.
You know, it's 1 minute after 9. We're late. We're just like shooting the breeze. Just ignore the countdown, everybody. We're live. Woo! Hey, everybody, welcome to our live stream. That was our special guest.
We're the Water Street Blues Band, and this is Talkin About Live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the rest of your waking days.
Woohoo! Is everybody here? Oh, we made it.
Hi, folks. We're your hosts from the Water Street Blues Band. I'm Rob. I play guitar in the band. And over
I'm
there,
Silvia, and I play keys and squeeze. That's accordion. And
I'm Paul, and I play bass guitar, and I take care of the bunny. And I'd like to introduce you to Fluffy, who runs our technical department, as well as acting as our accordion tech temporarily while we have our resumes out for consider.
okay.
Thanks, buddy. And I'd like to introduce you to our show today. And we have an incredible guest. On today's show, we have multiple Juno and Maple Blues Award winner, blues icon, Mr. Jack de Keyzer, a personal icon to me.
all right.
On the show today. And we have, so we're going to be doing that. We're going to be listening to some great tunes. We've got our vinyl piece happening. It's going to be a really healthy show.
Okay, well, that's good.
Sylvia.
I'm glad to hear that. Oh, that was a cue, right.
It was a segue.
Yeah, it was a segue. Sorry. We usually do a shout out about this time, and it is 2021 is the year of the health and care worker. So this is our little tribute. And also, we're shout out to Elixir Elliott, public artist, who put together this great mural in downtown Toronto, showing gratitude to our frontline healthcare workers. It's a great way to show our gratitude. Won't be long now, we might as well hang on. Wear a mask, keep your distance, wash your hands, stay at home when you can.
That's why the song says, be strong, be patient.
It
We're
does.
gonna
it
touch the
does.
hands again.
It is. It is.
We'll be touching hands.
That
We'll
happens
be
to
touching. We'll be touching hands. Touch my hand.
You keep going. Okay. No, it's okay.
Well, I
All
think
right, I
it's.
can't figure it out.
I think it's.
We forgot to mention that's an original Water Street song too. Well,
And speaking of original music,
Yes.
we cut a record and released it in late 2020. What a great time to release a record! It's called Talkin About, and we'd like to actually give away a copy of that record in our
Quiz.
super difficult blues quiz. The record is streaming everywhere. You can get it and download it from Bandcamp, but we would like to give you a free download if you can answer the skill testing question we have, and it's a bit of trivia about our special guest, Jack Keyzer. And could you put the chalk on the board?
Oh, we need to see where that
I need to
question
see-
is.
That's
going.
right. So Jack Keyzer has had a long and storied career, and it's still evolving. And but he started out playing rockabilly, and if you can name the name of the band, the rockabilly band that Jack started out in the late '80s playing in, and if you can guess that name, just put it down in the comments, and the first person to get it into the comments. You can either comment on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or Twitch or Instagram, and then we can give away a record.
Cool.
So Jack Keyzer started out playing rockabilly in what band?
All right, and Rob's going to be monitoring those comments.
And Miss Angel Brown is watching. Hi, Angel. How are you doing? And she
Angel.
thinks
Angel.
she thinks Sylvia's hair is just lovely tonight. So good
Thank
job,
you.
Sylvia.
Thank you.
What about mine?
Not so much.
Thanks, Miss Angel.
Paul, you want to do a tune for us?
I'd love to do a tune, and I'd love to also run an experiment right now.
Right.
So let me tell you about this experiment.
Oh, we need Fluffy.
Yeah, over the last few months, I've had some troubles at my house, building related troubles, and we've been moving in and out and dealing with contractors and stuff like that. So I got the idea for that song with all the moving around that we did, and we wrote this tune together, and we've kind of laid down the bed tracks, just the rhythm stuff. We still have to add all the guitars and pianos, and we have a 600-piece orchestra that we're engaging with currently, discussing an arrangement. And so right now, I'm just going to play with that, and we're going to do this kind of live, on-the-air, multimedia show with very little stress involved, obviously. And we've only just begun to learn how to use this technology. So wish me well.
Oh, here we go. All right.
Moving man, moving man, moving man, moving man, moving man. Well, Mr. Moving Man, get your van and put it there at my baby's door. Well, Mr. Moving Man, get your van and put it there at my baby's door. Please take this lonesome boy from his toy, Mr. Moving Man. Well, Mr. Moving Man, tell me if you can, how much would it be? Well, Mr. Moving Man, tell me if you can, how much would it be? Please take this lonesome man if you can, Mr. Moving Man. Go, man. Moving man. Moving man. Moving man. Moving man. Moving man. Moving man. Well, Mr. Moving Man, if you can, please tell my woman that I won't be home. Well, Mr. Moving Man, tell me if you can, want a woman home. Did you understand that I'm a traveling man, Mr. Moving Man? Go, man. Moving man. Moving man. Moving man. Moving man. Moving man. Moving man. Well, Mr. Moving Man, don't look back no matter what you do. Well, Mr. Moving Man, don't look back no matter what you do. Please take this broken man if you can, Mr. Moving Man. Step on it.
Ooh.
Moving man. Moving man. Moving man. Moving man. Moving man. Well, Mr. Moving Man, if you can, please tell my woman a thing or two. Well, Mr. Moving Man, if you can, please tell my woman a thing or two. Please make her understand that I'm a traveling man, Mr. Moving Man. 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 Moving man.
Whoa.
All right. Experiment
Wow.
worked.
That was.
Good job, Paul.
I mean, congratulations. Like we know how much it has been an inconvenience for you to have to broadcast from various locations. You really have been a moving man. And then to figure out this technology, thank you
So
so
way
much.
to go.
You know
And-
what? You can teach a course now.
And we have a winner in our blues quiz. I'd like to give a big shout out to Mike Rydell. And Mike, you won the blues quiz contest by guessing the Bobcats. And
Congratulations, Mike.
we'll send you out a.
Is that them? Is that them there, Jeff?
That's them.
Cool.
Nice hair. Good hair.
Yeah,
The
that's
Bobcats. We'll send you out a promo code, Mike, and hope you enjoy the record. We're going to do a tune now. It's by the Swamp Queen, piano queen, Miss Katie Webster. And what's it called, Silvia?
Oh, Swamp Boogie Woogie, kind of old school rock and roll, and it's called Ooh Wee.
Okay.
Well, I'm lonesome for my daddy and I'm so alone. Cried a million tears since he's been gone. Ooh wee, ooh wee, ooh wee, sweet daddy, hurry back to me. Well, I can't eat, I can't even sleep. Guess I count about a million sheep. Ooh wee. Sweet daddy, hurry back to me.
That was great.
Well, thanks, Paul. Man, we just raced. We raced that one. We won the race, right, Rob?
Yeah, a little
Is that
bit.
the idea?
You won the race. No, it sounded great, guys.
All right.
Congratulations.
So, Paul, I
you.
think it's time for you to climb into the catacombs, the deep vault that is your vinyl collection, and share with us some of the really cool vinyl records you have for us. What's the theme today?
You know, contractually, I was
listening.
forced into this bit,
No.
but as I've really grown into it, and I've become very excited about this. And this week, we're getting into more of a formal sort of thing. There's going to be a theme to it, and it's going to be well-groomed album covers. And you'll see what I mean by that. Okay.
Okay.
So there's this thing, and maybe some of you guys know about it. It's called the ECB Haircut Guide, and it's common. It
No.
What does that stand for,
Never
Paul?
heard of it.
Pardon me?
What does ECB stand for?
Well, it stands for the European Community of Barbers, and this is their haircutting guide. And this was actually the Bonsai 7, it's called, the chart,
all
Bonsai
right.
7, which is still in existence to this date. So what I've been doing is I've had a little bit of extra time, and I've been pairing
Clearly.
album covers to this guide. So, starting off with a slam dunk, this is, you guys probably know him, Mr. Banjo.
Sure, everybody
usually
knows
go
Mr.
by
Banjo. Yep.
And he clearly falls under the bowl cut,
Okay.
bowl cut part of the guide.
And
Paul,
that's
Paul, funny
on
thing
the
about
chart.
that chart, the faces all look like Peter Sellers. Are they?
Yeah, because Peter Sellers, they had a rudimentary computer program where they profiled what the average face is in the world, and it's Peter Sellers, interestingly.
Oh, okay. That's the average. All right. So there's men's haircuts here.
John Raver, another guy, you wouldn't believe it, but he's not on the chart. He was a groundbreaking guy, especially when it comes to hairstyling, facial grooming, as well as pendant style embroidering on jackets. Yeah, let's keep moving.
He had a major lift on his hair.
Yeah.
A lot of
He
poof.
had some lift.
A lot of
Yeah.
poof.
Yeah. Well,
A lot of structural spray.
Came
Yeah.
close.
A lot
but-
of structural spray.
But he's off the charts. Okay.
He's off the charts. Another guy off the charts.
Jerry Wallace.
Good old Jerry Wallace. And you guys think of Jerry Wallace. I mean, I would personally, do you guys agree with me? I would personally peg him as a bowl cut. I know he was insecure about his massive ears, so he would cover them with those flaps. But anyway, technically, according to the ECB haircut guide and the bonsai thing, it's off the charts.
Bonsai and bonsai.
He's off the
Institute.
charts again.
Off the chart.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and,
Mad Dog.
I mean,
Dog Murray. One of my favorites.
absolutely. Really, the guy's a pleasure. He howls with pleasure too. And he, interestingly enough, you'd say he's not on the charts, but technically, because you can put a tray of drinks on his head, you do fall under category 1 in the chart.
Okay.
The flat top.
Flat top. There we
It's a
go.
flat top, yeah. It's a flat top.
Oh, this is your favorite, I think.
Yeah, well, she's off the charts, I guess.
Clearly
What do you
off
guys
the
think? Or
charts.
is she on the charts? I don't know. I'm confused. Maybe we should ask our audience.
Well,
Yeah, is this woman's hairstyle on the charts or off the charts? If you have any guesses, let us know.
Yeah.
But boy, that's structural. You could hide an entire the nation of Lithuania in there.
Yes, and also, Rob, that's really good for deep sea stuff because you can put a bladder there, like for going up and down. Let's go. Keep moving. Fluffy.
Dan Grary.
Dan Grary, and it's a sad story because Dan Grary misunderstood that haircut. I technically think it's on the charts, but depending on the light and everything, it might be a comb over. Who knows?
I think it's a comb over. I think it does look like it's parted down the middle, and then he would definitely be on the charts, but I think it's a serious comb over.
not on the bonsai.
It's like my car. It's like my car. From 10 meters away, if you squint, it looks like a Mercedes.
Okay, this.
This one.
Weird.
This is a real album cover by Steve Miller Band, and it's a fairly recent record. And Fluffy, I think, did this hairstyle specifically
oh my
for the
gosh,
record.
There he is.
Yes, he turned this man's hair into the spitting image of a rabbit. Uses an awful lot of spray to be able to accomplish that effect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fluffy's
and-
got
Yeah,
a lot
Fluffy's
of,
everywhere.
And
got a lot of talent.
what's the name of the record, Sylvia? Can you read that?
It says, "Let your hair down."
Let your hair down.
Yeah.
Very, very witty, Steve.
Hair. Let your
From
hair.
Steve Miller.
Let your hair
down.
And good job, Fluffy. That was a really good
Yeah,
structural
thank
effort you put in there.
Off the charts, though.
Off the
off the
charts.
charts.
Yeah. Guaranteed.
The Liberty Sounds, classic, really well-known trio. I couldn't make any connections myself. What about you guys?
No, I don't think there's anything on the charts that relate to those hairstyles, but those are pretty amazing hairstyles.
Mm-hmm.
The ringlets,
and
the
they'll pray for
ringlets
us.
sort of are the whole story.
I remember those.
Yeah.
Those hairstyles.
Ah.
What are those things?
Yeah.
Hey,
This is
guy's
one of the early records by our guest Jack Keyzer, and he's on the charts.
I'm sure he's watching from the green room. Look at that.
He's on the charts, and he hit the pompadour.
You guys.
Except Jack's was a very specific variant of the pompadour. It was the.
I think it's because he was playing the Marshall stack that night.
It could have been. It's the exploding pompadour.
It's a classic pompadour, though. No, he's sporting a pompadour.
Well,
So
that
that's
was
it
good.
this week. Yeah,
All
that was
right.
fun. And tune in for next week's edition. It's going to be a different theme every week now.
All right. I don't know what kind of themes you have in mind there. Oh, we has a good opportunity to mention, besides themes, that there we are on Instagram, Facebook. We like the likes, and also we're on YouTube. And so that Paul stops getting copyright strikes, if you go to YouTube, please subscribe. We just need 1,000.
Everything is stolen.
You just need 1,000.
And if you guys get us to 1,000 subscriptions, we actually get some free China dinnerware sent to Paul because he really needs it. He's been moving so much.
We get
Really
YouTube bumper car stickers.
All right.
Well, I think
You do get those.
I think it's time to introduce our guest. And I want to say a few words about our guest, and we're really thrilled to have Jack on the show. Jack is, I'm going to go through some of the awards that Jack has won through the years. He's won 2 Junos, but he's also had several Juno nominations. He's also won many Maple Blues Awards, and most recently, he won this year's Electric Act of the Year, and there was a lot of really great acts in that category. But Jack was also nominated in about four other categories this year, so Jack had a really good year at the Maple Blues. A little less well known is that he won first place with his tune "My Love Is Gone" in 2019 in the International Songwriting Competition. So not only is Jack a great performer, recording artist, but an incredible and now very recognized songwriter. He's also he also won at the International Songwriting Competition in 2007 with "That's the Only Time." So Jack's got some serious songwriting chops. He won the Great Canadian Blues Award, CBC listeners, in 2009, the Music Express Canada Awards for his one of his recent albums, Checkmate, which is a great tribute to the Chicago blues artists. And he went down and did Canada proud in the International Blues Challenge. So we're really thrilled to have Jack Keyzer in the show. So Fluffy, if you could go to the green room and see if you could find Jack. Okay, Fluffy, go get Jack and bring him to the show. And in the meantime, we're going to play one of Jack's videos, and it's a tune off his latest record.
Wait, if we get that loaded up.
All right, Jack, welcome to the show.
Oh.
I think you're muted.
Thanks, Rob. Sylvia, Paul, nice to see you guys.
Hey, Jack.
Thanks
great
for
to
being
see
with
you.
us.
Thanks for joining us. That was a really cool tune. Is that that tune's off your latest record, Tribute, right?
Yeah, I did. The Toronto Blues Society wanted me to do something for the Maple Blues, so I took the original audio and I removed my guitar and vocal and sang along with the backing track. So I called it Jack Karaoke. Jack Karaoke.
Jack Karaoke. Awesome.
Something like that.
It's incredible. Tribute's a really, really cool record. You seem to sort of dig deep into a lot of people who have influenced you over the years. Maybe tell us some of the folks who informed some of the tunes.
A lot of the people that I listened to when I was younger, Clapton, Hendrix, Jimmy Page, and then some of the other songs on the record, like Muddy Waters and Marvin Gaye, but especially the early rock and blues guys. Because when I first started playing guitar, I was influenced by the Stones and Clapton and the Beatles and Hendrix, and then I met older guys in the neighborhood in Hamilton, and they would tell me, they go, well, that's not a Rolling Stones song, that's a Willie Dixon song, and that's a Muddy Waters song, and that's a Howlin' Wolf song. So they showed me the original guys.
Well, that tune coming up seems to have a lot of Freddie King and Jeff Beck in it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's that was definitely borrowed from the Freddie King songbook. Well,
the record itself, Tribute, and for you folks out there, if you haven't had a chance to listen to it, it's amazing. It's really varied. There's a lot of different styles. You got everything from funk, Motown. I mean, I hear Motown in a couple of tracks, and there's even some reggae on it.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's well, I've always loved Motown, and I've played a couple of Motown songs on other albums I've released. I guess when I grew up, on the radio, it was like you heard a lot of the British Invasion, the Stones, the Beatles, the Animals, which was all blues based. But then you'd also hear all the Motown hits were big then, and also the soul people like Aretha Franklin and Wilson Pickett.
I noticed Redding.
And then a few years later, the Cream and Led Zeppelin and Hendrix came out. So it was a great era for music, and it was also very much blues influenced music too.
Well, you also tipped your hat to all the Chicago blues greats with Checkmate. Was the album all Chicago covers?
Most of it, yeah. There were a couple. I think I did a B.B. King song and I did a Robert Johnson song, but the rest of the album was pretty well Chess Records classics. And it wasn't same as with Tribute. It wasn't really till after that I realized, hey, all these songs are based on Chess Records, most of them. And with Tribute, it was after I made the record, I thought, oh yeah, I can hear all these influences in the songs that I hadn't really consciously set out to do. A couple of them maybe, but not all of them. Most of them not so. So it was like, I thought, yeah, it's a tribute to all the great artists that I've loved through the years.
Well, you must have come by your love for the early British Invasion blues acts because you grew up in England. You were born in England.
Yeah, I mean, I moved just when the Beatles were coming out. We left England in '64. I was just 10. So, but yeah, for sure. I mean, that music is very deep in my heart.
Now, when you were in England, was that when you were first introduced to the guitar, or did that take North America to put one in your hands?
No, I was I was always sort of enamored by the guitar. The big star in England when I was a little child was Elvis Presley, or not Elvis, it was Cliff Richard, who was the British Elvis, and Cliff Richard's backup band was the Shadows, which was a 3-guitar band, and Hank Marvin, who's now Sir Hank Marvin, He influenced all the. You talk to Beck, you talk to Page, Clapton. They all would cite Hank Marvin as a major influence, and so that's where I got the guitar bug from seeing Cliff Richard and the Shadows.
So when you came to North America, then you picked up the guitar and made it a serious vocation. How did that happen? How did you say, this is going to be my life?
I think probably, well, when I saw The Young Ones, that was a film that Cliff Richard did in 1959 or something, 60. That's when I sort of first got the bug. And then when the Beatles came out with Hard Day's Night, it was sort of clinched it. And that's when I got my first electric guitar in Hamilton, Ontario. And I don't know, I just always felt like it was something that I was meant to do. I never really ever I never had another job, so.
Well, you know, if you enjoy what you're doing, you don't have a job.
That's true too.
You know, you've played with so many great players, and especially early on. How did you? I mean, you obviously met up with King Biscuit Boy in Hamilton. How many years were you with King Biscuit Boy?
Quite a few. The little subdivision I lived in on the mountain in Hamilton, his parents lived just around the corner from my parents, and I used to hear them rehearse in the basement, and I would sit at the basement window and listen to them, and they were called the Chessmen, and they played a lot of Chicago chess blues, and I thought, wow, these guys are great. And then a few years later, he had a hit record with a song called Karina, and that was pretty exciting to think that a guy who just lived 10 doors down had an international hit record. And then I started working with some guys in Hamilton, Mike Short, who's Marty Short's brother, and Michael O'Brien, who is Jesse O'Brien's dad. They had a band, so I auditioned for those guys and started playing with them when I was like 17 and 18. And around those years, some of the guys in the band had played with Biscuit Boy in the Chessmen, so he'd come and see us play. So he asked me to join his band in 73.
Wow! And then you got plucked by Ronnie Hawkins for a couple of years.
Yeah, well, Biscuit was never really super. He was a very nervous guy. He had bad stage fright, and he didn't love leading bands. As good as he was at singing and playing the harmonica and arranging, he just was not comfortable on stage. And so Ronnie said, hey, I'll hire both you guys. So I went and played with Ronnie, which led me to, that was cool because with Ronnie, we played everything. It was sort of like a bit of a show band. We'd play rock and roll. We played some rockabilly. We played some Gordon Lightfoot songs. We played band songs. So that was a good learning curve. And then after that, after I left Ronnie, there was a guy from Toronto named Dave Booth, Daddy Cool, who had a radio show, and Glenn Smith from Kitchener.
We know Dave pretty well. Dave's great.
Yeah. And he said there's a guy, and he was managing a band called the Bobcats. And he also got me a gig with Robert Gordon for a short period of time. He said, Robert Gordon's guitar player quit, so you should go to New York and audition. So I did that too.
Very cool. Jack, I mean, would you like to play a tune right now?
Sure, I'd love to. I've been working on a solo album, because pretty well that's what you have to do nowadays.
Yep.
Play solo. So, and I also realized that I recorded a bunch of country blues songs in the last 5-6 years. So I went through all the stuff that I'd been doing and putting together this country blues album. And this first song, this will be the opening track, and it's a song that was written by the Reverend Robert Wilkins called That'll Be No Way to Get Along. And it goes something like this.
Take it away.
I'm going home, friends, sit down and tell my mom Sit down, tell my mama I'm going home. Sit down and tell my mama I'm going home. Sit down and tell my mama, 'cause that'll be no way to get along. These low down women, mama, they treated your poor boy wrong. Mama treated me so wrong. These low down women, mama, treated your poor boy wrong. These low down women, mama, treated your poor son wrong. And that'll be no way for me to get along. They treated my poor heart like it was made of rock or stone. Made of rock or stone. They treated my poor heart like it was made of rock or stone. Treated my poor heart like it's made of rock or stone. That'll be no way to get along. You know there was enough, mama, to make your son wish he was dead and gone. Wish I was dead and gone. That's enough to make your son, mama, wish he was dead and gone. That's enough, mama, make your son wish he was dead and gone. That'll be no way for me to get along. So I stood on the roadside, I cried alone, all by myself, cried alone by myself. I stood on the roadside crying all by myself. Stood on the roadside crying all by myself. 'Cause that'll be no way to get along. I'm wanting some train to come along and take me far from here. Take me away from here. Some train to come along and take me away from here. Some train to come along and take me away from here. That'll be no way for me to get along.
All right.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah.
Studio audience.
Studio
Yes,
audience.
goes wild.
That was
I don't
fabulous.
Thank you,
That
Jack.
many
That was
people here.
marvelous. That
Well,
was
thank you so much. Well, I love country blues, and it really is the building blocks, the DNA of so much of the music that we love, right? There'd be no Chicago blues. So much of Chicago blues was based on the early country blues, Delta blues guys,
Yeah.
and so much of the rock music that we love was based on Chicago blues and Delta blues. So, to me, it's the very beginnings of the music that I love.
It's all born in Mississippi.
I love your story, Jack. I love the fact that you had this connection to Cliff Richards, and your career has evolved, I think, really organically, from one genre to another, and you're still exploring. You've been prolific. You started with the Bobcats, but then you left that to lead your own thing, and you led several bands, and we're not acknowledging them all tonight, but and you've done 10 studio albums, and so that takes a lot of leadership, and you got to be a business person, and you got to promote yourself, and you got to deal with COVID-19 and all of that. So, what's the secret to your leadership of all these people? And you've kept all these people employed over the years. It's a relevant thing in music for people.
Yeah, well, I think I've just always really loved music. I mean, it's been the one thing that's kind of kept me going through life, and then I was lucky enough to have a family, and my wife had 2 kids, but when I met her, that I helped raise, and then we had 3 together. So we had 5 kids I had to raise. So that'll keep you on the road working too.
It's
And
motivating.
that inspired me a lot. And between the love of music and love of my family, that's what kind of kept me on.
Well, you're such a great leader of bands. I mean, you've got such a great members of your band. You've got Al on bass and all the other players in your band. And have they been with you for a long time, or has your band changed over the last few
Yeah.
years.
Well, I mean, Al Duffy has been playing bass with me now for, I'm going to say, 16 years.
Wow.
Richard Thornton on sax has
Yep.
been with me for about 12. Rick Donaldson, our drummer, has been with me for about, I'm going to say, nine or 10. And keyboard players, I've had a bunch that stayed for a while, but our latest keyboard player is a guy named Nick Succi, who's a young guy from Hamilton, who's really great. And so, yeah, I've been lucky to keep the guys in the band. I mean, I love the band setting, you know. I mean, I prefer that over just hiring like session guys and you know, I like to get the real that camaraderie going.
Well, certainly,
Yeah.
certainly with Al on bass, you've created a really solid, rock solid foundation. And I've noted some changes in your playing. Like, I mean, you've been playing the blues for such a long time, but I've noticed a lot of jazz influences sneaking into your playing.
Yeah, well, that was sort of like a hobby there for a while when I was working a lot. For fun, I would study jazz and try to get better at that. And I love the American Songbook. And my wife Emily, her family would always sing Cole Porter and Gershwin songs at Christmas time, and I'd hear, you know, The Man I Love and Someone to Watch Over Me, and I think, oh man, I love those songs, and I didn't hear them that often. So then I started, and then she would play them on the piano, so I started learning all the chord changes because they've got a lot of chord changes, and
Yep.
so I've got better at chord changes and playing over that. And I was also challenged to try to sing those melodies too.
Were there any jazz guitarists who specifically caught your ear? Because I'm hearing a little Grant Green and a little early George, you know, Jack McDuff era George Benson in your playing every so often.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, well, I love that. I mean, I've loved the blue note jazz for many years, and yeah, I like all the jazz guitar players that are bluesy, like you say, Grant Green. I love Wes Montgomery, Kenny Burrell, George Benson. Fantastic. Yeah.
Well, you should keep throwing those licks in because they surprise you. Because a typical blues audience will hear, you know, a lot of straight ahead Chicago blues licks, but when you suddenly throw a little jazz lick in, it really catches the ear. So it's keep doing it. It's fabulous.
All right. Thanks.
Well, from jazz back to the acoustic style you were talking about earlier, I don't know if there's, well, of course we'd like you to do another song, but maybe before that, your latest project is acoustic, and I wondered if you could talk about that project that's coming up. You said it was solo and very roots-based.
Yeah. Well, since we've all had so much time off, I started looking through stuff I'd recorded, and for a while there, just for fun, I was doing these things called the birthday sessions, where I would see which famous artists had birthdays, and just record one of their songs solo. And oftentimes, if it was a country blues guy, that's the guy I would pick, the ones that were the least known, but you know, people like well, Robert Johnson, obviously, Bucka White, Robert Wilkins. Who else have I got on there? A couple of Lead Belly songs. And so, yeah, I just started going through my catalog of recorded songs. And so I remixed them and remastered them. And I've got them all ready to go for an album that should be out this summer. That's pretty well, mostly country blues. There's a couple surprises on there. I did Can't Find My Way Home by Blind Faith. And I did a Zeppelin song that's called Baby, I'm Gonna Leave You.
All right. So, and people can find out more about that album when it's out at your website, which I think is scrolling by for us, as well as any other of the albums that we talked about earlier. I guess guess, Tribute and
Checkmate.
and they're all there on your website, Jack to Keyzer.
Paul, you're one of Jack's biggest fans. In fact, you're a little obsessive about Jack, aren't you? Didn't you?
Well, I have, Jack knows about this through his lawyers. But I have about 80% of my room plastered in pictures of Jack de Keyzer. The other 20% is Keith. What's his name again from
Richards.
the Partridge Family?
Oh,
Keith Jones? No, that's another guy.
Cassidy,
I got some of his
David
too.
Cassidy.
Anyway, I've been following Jack. I've been
David
following
Carradine.
his technique. David Carradine. That's right. Close enough.
Well,
I've been following his technique. Yes, you could say that I have an unhealthy interest.
it's just,
no, that's pretty healthy. I have a lot of David Carradine on my wall too.
But
You're just skipping over the Jack de Keyzer part.
Paul, you named your children after him, didn't you?
Yeah. So firstborn Jack, secondborn Duh, and third
he's the
guy.
smart one.
They're all boys, and then the third guy Keyzer, and he makes great sandwiches too. But you could say I'm a little bit obsessed, and had my wife's name formally changed to Jack as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
it's great.
I'm humbled and honored
It's starting to
and
explain it.
and weirded out.
And we're very awkward.
It's
Feel
very
extremely awkward.
Well, where do we go from here?
Oh, I think we could see if we could get Jack to do another song, but now he's all kind of weirded out with Paul's.
Do you want to do another song, Jack?
Play this song.
Jack's agreed to do this show because it's virtual. If it was in person.
That's the only reason. This takes me back to my teenage years. Baby, I'm gonna leave you. I said, baby, you know I'm gonna leave you. I'll leave you when the summer comes. Leave you when the summer comes a rolling on. I'll leave you when the summer comes along. Baby, 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 I'm gonna leave you. I ain't joking, woman, I've got to ramble. I can hear her calling me the way it used to do. I can hear her calling me the way it used to do. Baby, 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 oh, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna leave you. I ain't joking, woman, I've got to ramble. I can hear it calling me the way it used to do. I know, I know, I'm never gonna leave you, baby. But I got to get away from this place. I gotta quit you, girl. baby, 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 baby. Woman, woman, I know it feels so good to have you back again. I know one day it's really gonna grow, and we'll go walking through the park every day. Come one day. Baby, you know I've got to leave you. Oh, I've got to leave you. I can hear it calling me. I can hear it calling me back home.
All right. Well, you're getting lots of love on the comments, Jack. Leela, I'm not sure where Leela's from, but she was loving that. Miss Angel says hi, and she really dug that tune. Kathy Zador, our friends down in Florida, Cindy and George liked it. So my sister in Winnipeg liked it. So some folks out in Vancouver are commenting. So we've got national and even international audience.
I know what you were doing, Jack. I know what you were doing. That was, all of those words were intended for me.
No.
Well, you know, the lyrics to that song are so crazy because he's going to leave her, he's going to leave her, he's going to leave her, but then he's going to come back, and then he's going to come back, and then he's got to quit, then he's got to leave. So it really is a kind of like the quintessential breakup song where
he's conflicted.
You're going to break up, but you don't feel like you should, but you're going to, but you're not going to, and then you are, and then you're not, and then you are, and then you do.
I feel like every song you're talking to me.
It's security.
Yeah, security.
Paul, you guys have a security on set?
We get the rabbit.
Oh, no.
Paul, I think you have a rider prepared for Jack, don't you?
This has been a really tough one, Rob. We got Jack the Keyzer on the show, and I had to have the fax machine. The fax machine broke, and I had to talk to Jack's lawyer over. I have a cheap cellular thing, but I recorded a bit of the conversation here.
What?
So I didn't understand a thing he said, so I had to improvise. So I did some studying. I noticed that Jack is always surrounded by pool tables, at least on the internet. It's part of his persona. So I figured let's work some some swag into this. Yeah. So we got you some pool table stuff. So awesome. So this is your rider, Jack, and this will be waiting for you in the green room. You could actually drive it home. You'll see what I mean.
What is that quote? You're attributing that quote to Jack.
What is it?
What do I say?
I
can't read it, Sylvia. Can you read it, Sylvia?
It's always, you know what? Whenever there's I'm calling my lawyer, you goddamn rabbit.
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear it.
I'm calling my lawyer, you goddamn rabbit. Apparently,
yeah.
He didn't like the writer.
It was a tough thing.
Okay,
I'm not sure you're gonna like this. So let's see.
Okay.
So got you a pool table, versatile.
Oh, it's a pool.
You said you have 5 kids. You guys can get in it. I don't care how you use it, Jack. I'm not going to judge.
I actually got my pool table in Kitchener.
Wow.
Yeah, is that a foosball machine? I wouldn't mind a foosball machine next time I come on the show. And
I think that's a pool table hot tub.
There's a pool table hot tub here.
Yeah, it's
Oh, is it?
they
Okay,
want it,
that's
but
cool.
It's available at the byway.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That'll fit in my van on the way home.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah. And
Can I
this
be on the
thing,
show again next week and get some more stuff?
I know you live in
Sure.
the country. We were talking about that earlier, and you're independent, and I know you have a lot of yard work. So this kind of doubles as a lawnmower, pool table. You can use it for snooker. I don't care.
This guy's riding
There's more
lawnmower.
stuff. Wow.
It's off-road diesel, which is a bonus. I think you can find some good use
Great.
there.
That sounds great. Oh,
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Listen,
and you can
I'm gonna-
drive this stuff home, and this is like smart camping. Smart camping, Jack. You leave the pool table at the campsite. You take your car out to dinner to Pizza Hut. You come back. You can play pool after.
okay. It's very creative. Those are very creative.
Sounds like my perfect date.
Jack, you've left us with a brief video. Do you want to set it up before we play it and before Fluffy takes you to the green room?
Fluffy, he looks like he can't wait.
I was gonna kiss you.
Oh, gave you a
there he
kiss.
goes.
Oh.
That's gross.
He just kissed you.
I think it's Crossroad Blues, right?
Right.
Yeah, another song that will be on the acoustic blues album, and I've loved Robert Johnson since I was a teenager. Those guys that I met who were playing with Biscuit Boy when I was like 16, 17, turned me on to Robert Johnson, and I got the King of the Delta Blues Singers Volume 1 and Volume 2, and I tried to learn as many of the songs as I could. And I mean, they're really complicated. And to me, Crossroad Blues was one of the most mysterious ones. It just like every time I listened to it, I'd hear something new, I'd hear something different, and it was really hard to kind of figure it out. But so anyway, this is my version of Crossroad Blues by Robert Johnson.
Thank you, Jack, for joining us tonight. We're so honored and pleased you could be here tonight.
Thank you, Jack.
You've done a great job on it. Like, it looks like usually you see somebody with a cell phone and a PayPal machine there waiting for, and you guys you've got like, my name rolling along and rabbits, and you're in 4 screens, and you've got videos. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Bye, Jack. Thank you.
You guys. Hang in.
Be well.
I went to the crossroads,
Fluffy, rush the.
fell down on my knees. I went to the crossroads, fell down on my knees. I had a runabout for mercy. Said, poor Jack, if you please. Stand at the crossroads. I try to figure out.
That was amazing. Incredible.
Thank you, Jack.
Right.
Thanks
Thank
again.
you, Jack.
Sorry,
Great
Fluffy.
job,
you,
you
Jack.
guys. Very professional. It's fun.
Rob, tell us about our guest next week.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that time.
Who's it, Mr. Rogers
Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, we have Mr. Rogers.
or Belinda the Good Witch?
No, we're really happy. Next week we have a
Jack, go play some pool. Stuff cost me a fortune.
a Kitchener-Waterloo icon by way of Ottawa. And Sylvia, do you want to put up the graphic? We have Mike Elliott of Elliott and the Audio Kings joining us next week. It's going to be a great show.
Oh, good special effect.
What was that? Paul, you should get
Not
that.
me, actually.
I don't
you
think
should-
it's not Paul. It's in the green room. It's the rabbit
Something's
in the.
going on in the green room.
You should
What are
get
you
that.
guys
You know
doing
what?
in there?
It's
Get
like
that
Greco-Roman wrestling.
Well,
That's
we're,
what it sounds like. It sounds like friction.
If we had a camera in the green room,
we're,
we'd know.
we're really, really, really thrilled to have Mike Elliott as our guest
Okay,
next
sorry.
week. And we'll be hearing all about Mike's. Mike's got a pretty epic vinyl collection. And what else are we going to hear about from Mike? Silvia?
We're gonna hear all about the exquisite guitars that he plays and the equipment and the recording process. I think it's gonna be really, really interesting.
We're going to have a fun show with Mike next week.
We're gonna play music.
So next week, tune in, same bat channel, same bat time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch. We come to you worldwide. It's Visit Water Street Blues Band before it visits you. And we hope you'll be able to join us next week. And I think we've run out of time, and it's time for us to pack up.
Time's up.
Fluffy! We're the Water Street Blues Band, and you've been watching Talkin About Live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 5 o'clock in Hawaii. Join us next week when our guest will be guitar great Mike Elliott of Elliott and the Audio Kings. You will not want to miss it. Look deeply into my eyes.
So, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you next week. We have Mike Elliott from Elliott and the Audio Kings, and we're going to have Paul back and more Moving Man Waves, mysterious sound effects. You never know what can happen because it's live. It's all live, every single bit of it.
Good night, folks. Thanks for
Good night,
joining us.
everyone.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining us. Tune in next week.
Good night.
Good night, Paul.
Good night.
Good night, Rob. Good night, Jack.